Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the PaynePoints mini podcast. And this week we're doing a special edition with Ray Coleman. Hey Ray, how's it going?
Oh, we're doing all right.
We're doing the COVID safe zones where we talk about local restaurants that are going above and beyond during this crazy time in history to keep their patrons safe and to offer them special deals. So who are we talking about this week?
This week our COVID safe zone is going to be a restaurant in town that's local and near and dear to my heart and my family's heart is the Sake Cafe. Now, this restaurant is a Japanese Asian fusion, so it's a lot of sushi and Chinese favorites as well. I think the Chinese food is there just to kind of pad the menu. They're mainly a sushi bar, basically.
Most people are like, when they go to get sushi, that's the place they go.
It is definitely the place to go. I think we have more than one sushi restaurant in town, which is really weird for a town like Lufkin. But Sake Cafe is definitely my favorite. I think I took my daughter there for the first time when she was about 2. She's now 8. So these people have watched her. She's now 8. She's now 11.
I was about to be like, wait.
She's 11 years old.
She's a little older than that.
So she's grown up there pretty much. They've watched her, develop from a very small child to a very stout young lady, and they really, really like her. Just like they know where our favorite seats are, and they know what she likes to order. But we always make her order anyway. Make her actually speak up as part of her education is speaking up and ordering her own food, and they've been really, really helpful in all of our endeavors with her. And so we were very kind of put out when the whole COVID thing happened, because normally we go there weekly.
Yeah.
Like every Friday we go to Sake Cafe, and we were distressed when they couldn't open immediately because of the initial shutdown, but they really stepped up to the bar here. In the whole making sure that the people who went there, because they care about their patrons, like I stated, they know my daughter, they know us, know our family. They care about their patrons, they care about their staff, and so they wanted to make sure that whenever they got open, that they would open up in a very safe manner. And they have been much more proactive than many other restaurants and businesses in general in making sure that everyone is COVID safe.
Yeah.
So initially, opening up after the shutdown, the first thing they did was they put everything online, so you can order online. They did not do delivery, which was somewhat surprising, but I understood why when I went to the restaurant. They wouldn't allow anyone to come into the restaurant at all. Okay, so they set up a table, and they have a 2-door system. One door to a lobby, and then the second door was to the restaurant. Well, they put a table at the first door, so you couldn't even come into the lobby. You had to wait outside after you ordered your food online, and then come to the table, and they would figure out what your order was and come and bring it to you. And over this table, they had plexiglass, so they couldn't get your breath vapors on them, or vice versa. And so as that went on, that lasted for a while, and then as restrictions sort of lifted, they would move back the table. So they moved it from the first door to the second door, put the plexiglass there. And it stayed there for a while. And then eventually, when they got the green light to open up their lobby, they took all of their tables that were in the middle of the restaurant. So the vast majority of their tables, they took out of service. And so you can only use the tables that were, the booths that were on the sides. Mm-hmm. And the tables in the middle were labeled as not usable. And I've never gone in there one time since this whole thing started and not seen everyone in that place with a mask on.
Yeah. Like,
they have been really consistent. Everyone back there has gloves on. They're handling your food. They're really, really trying to be safe here. And as the restrictions have lifted up a bit more, they took 3 of their tables and opened them up in a staggered zigzag pattern to put maximum distance in between them. The other table is still not usable.
Yeah.
So normally on a Friday, you'd go in there and it is literally packed, like wall to wall.
Yeah.
Now you go in there and there's not that packed. There's not that many people in there because that's the way they like it. They're not letting that many people in there.
Yeah. Limiting the number of people.
They're limiting the number of people that can come in there into the restaurant at a given time. But they are doing a very brisk online business.
Well, I imagine that, they didn't have online ordering before, correct?
They didn't.
So shifting that quickly from completely in-store, in restaurant ordering to putting everything on an online platform and getting that ready to go relatively quickly probably not only cost them a pretty penny to get accomplished, but the fact that they did it so fast is impressive, because I know a lot of people, a lot of places were really, struggling to make that shift, to an online ordering system or delivery or whatever.
And it wasn't without its hiccups.
Sure.
At the beginning, you could order online and pay for it online. They've taken the pay online option off, and so you still have to pay at the restaurant, even if you are not eating at the restaurant. You still have to pay at the restaurant. And I believe they did that more as a cost-saving measure than anything.
Yeah, most likely, because it's expensive to to do that.
And they never did a delivery option, which a lot of places around town went to, simply because it seemed logical.
Yes.
To do delivery. Well, for a restaurant like Sake Cafe, it's not that logical, because a big part of their business is actually the people involved there. So if they couldn't make sure that their employees were handling the process all the way to the customer, they didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And like this, it's that kind of thinking that makes for a good business, in my opinion.
Well, too, if I was, if it were me, and I don't eat sushi, but, I have been to their restaurant and I do enjoy it. I just didn't order the sushi. You would think with something like that, you would want it to be as absolutely fresh as possible. So, ordering delivery and it take 30, 40 minutes to get to your door, and, it wasn't properly, kept cooled or heated or what have you, what they need to have done. Like, I would imagine something like that just poses too much risk in terms of foodborne illness.
Exactly.
So,
if you're working with raw ingredients like sushi,
I wouldn't do a delivery option either. I mean, I know places like New York, when you have a neighborhood place, it's literally going to be at your door in 5 minutes. It's probably fine. But like here in Lufkin, Texas, in the surrounding county,
the delivery is fairly new for the entire area. The delivery is fairly new, and so it's not that we don't trust how it works. It's just, let's give it a few years to get all the kinks out.
Yeah.
Before we start ordering fish brought to our door from the restaurant. Speaking of the food, though, speaking of the menu,
let's get into that.
Their menu is very eclectic, and it's very strangely local. They have several rolls that are just at that restaurant, that are just for this area. They have one roll in particular, which is actually my favorite sushi roll of all time. It's called the Lufkin roll. And it's not funny. It's good. It is a spicy tuna on top with some avocado. In the middle, it is what's called a crunchy roll, which is their snow crab salad with these crunchy little fried wonton things inside of it. It's absolutely fabulous. Topped with eel sauce. I love it. Me and my wife would order one apiece. If we, and it's a big roll. It's enough to share with two people. Normally we share because it's a large roll, but it's little touches like that all through their menu. They've even expanded their menu to give everyone a few more options, just because it's online. Mm-hmm. It's like we're spending less time on the floor. We got more time in the kitchen, and so they have a few revamped and a few new items on their menu. So it's fairly wide, fairly sort of eclectic, because they're, like I said, they have some Chinese things on there. They also have one of the highlights on the menu is they have bento boxes, mm-hmm. where you can order. If you've ever seen a bento box, it's a little box. It's very popular in Japan, where each compartment in this box is a different little food item. And it's normally an entree and rice and a few little side dishes. They have an option where you have two entrees, rice, and a few little side dishes. And also, they have what's called a special box, where they take sort of like a roll and they make like 2 or 3 rolls out of it. So it's if you see a normal sushi roll, they take that roll and triple it. and just call it it's a box of some sort, an eel box where it's all eel, a salmon box where it's all salmon. I like those because they're very easy to order one of those, and that's good for two people.
Yeah.
You know, and they also are the only restaurant in town that has soba noodles. If you're not familiar with soba noodles are buckwheat noodles. They're made with buckwheat and wheat, but they're a different texture than regular wheat noodles, and they're absolutely delicious. But no one in town really does it, and the most of the times that I've seen them in smaller restaurants, they have not been done well. Their soba noodles are absolutely delicious. So if you want to try something new you haven't had before, you haven't had soba noodles before, if you want to try soba noodles, do it at Sake Cafe in Lufkin.
Good deal. Are they offering any like specials right now, like Herradura's was?
They never really offered specials.
Okay.
But that makes sense for what they were.
Yeah.
They have their everyday special is they have several lunch combos and things like that.
Sure.
And they're very reasonably priced anyway.
They really are, actually. You know, I going there the very first time I ever went, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was, pleasantly surprised that it wasn't like $30 a person,
right,
or something like that. Because
if you're not familiar with sushi and you not familiar with raw fish, I recommend a 3-roll combo where they have 3 rolls for like $12,
mm-hmm,
and it's 3 full rolls. And they have a little selection of rolls there. Most of them are cooked rolls. I don't think there's only 2 or 3, I think 3, that are have raw fish in them: tuna, salmon, and I think it's white tuna. And but anything on that roll combo is delicious, and that can get you started if you're a little uncomfortable. It's a lot less intimidating than getting a bowl of raw fish staring at you. Right. You're not used to it.
Well, they also have a like what's called a happy hour, if I'm not mistaken, where every appetizer is half off or something like that.
They have appetizers, and they have they're one of the few places in town that has a sake selection. So you can go there and have Japanese rice wine, cold and hot.
Yeah.
Which not many places in town do that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think there's only one other one.
Well, any final thoughts about Sake Cafe or?
It's a wonderfully warm sort of restaurant. Like
I love the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very calming.
Yeah.
You don't feel stressed out in there. It feels very just chill.
I have never spoken to a person there who has identified themselves as an owner, but I know I've spoken to the owner.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to every person that works there.
Yeah.
But I've never had somebody come and say, "Hey, I'm the owner," or "Hey, I'm the owner's sister," or "I'm the owner's wife." Yeah. It's the whole place.
They all work.
Yes, the whole place seems like it's everybody's family, and so I recommend the place in general. Yeah. In the best of times and in the worst of times, it can absolutely help get you through.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something different, and you are concerned about COVID safety, Sake Cafe in Lufkin, Texas.
Awesome. Well, if you're local, you can go to 1905 Tulane Drive, suite number 103A here in Lufkin, Texas. Their phone number is 936-632-9977, and they also have a website if you Google them. Sake Cafe. They're great, and if you like sushi or anything Asian fusion, you should definitely check them out, like Ray said. And thanks, Ray, for bringing this little bit of information and foodie culture to our little podcast here and letting everybody know what's safe and what's good.
Happy to do it.
All right. Well, guys, we thank you for tuning in. You should check us next time as we have another person on the guest and we learn all about their fun personality. You can find all of our podcasts on PaynePoints.com. You can find any of our social media link there. And you should catch these episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.
Bye.